Welcome back to the Field of 68's coverage of the 2023 College Basketball Hall of Fame induction class, and we are joined now by the man that had to step into the shoes that were left by Coach K, none other than Jon Scheyer, Duke head coach. Jon, when I asked you to come on, the first thing that you said was, do I get to rip on Hummel? So there you go. The door is open.
I just need motivation. You just need to find your motivation. That was some great motivation.
These are Nike All-American teammates right here. That
we
bond
go
is
way
strong.
back. Let me tell you, we
that
go
bond
way
is
back.
strong.
So you guys were teammates? No, were you teammates on that team?
We've gone all over the world with our competition, playing on the same team or playing against each other, including having a dinner in Spain.
We did, in the Canary Islands.
Yeah, it's a true story. So AAU battles, college battles. So
the problem is Jon won the only games that matter, and I won the only games that didn't matter. AAU, we were beating Jon. Spain, we won the game.
Hey, you know what
the ones in college that matter, he won.
After 1 year of coaching, he now looks a lot older than you.
The stress.
Just wait one more year. Just wait when we're doing this a year from now.
So what's it like for you being, I mean, Kay obviously in the pandemic got inducted, but tonight he'll go in and Johnny Dawkins is in. So kind of cool to, two prolific guys who really built this Duke program. What does it mean to you to be here in Chicago too, which is kind of cool for you?
No, it's really special. I mean, if I hope all Duke fans realize, I know I'm not where I'm at. I know really anybody that's come after Johnny Dawkins, probably none of us would be here if it wasn't for him, right? And you really need that first player to really believe in you. Even I was just telling Johnny, I was fortunate to see him over there in our staff meeting, not in our staff meeting, our team meeting a couple of days ago. We were talking about how we have to be in great shape. And Johnny Dawkins still to this day has a mile record.
No way.
Still to this day. It's what?
What was it? Because Hummel's got produced.
That's right. We'll have to see
Not
what's
kidding.
Mile record.
We just talked about this.
438.
Oh, he got me. Coach Payne said 446, but I swore it was 443. I swear he was.
Either way,
He
he's
was
got
shy to
you.
me.
And I think he finished the last half of the lap backwards, by the way.
he was backpedaling like Deion Sanders. Huh?
So even to
that would
this
be
day,
impressive.
he still got it. But just what that team did, his class, him specifically, obviously Coach K going in I think it speaks for itself, which, with what all that he's done for the game. But Johnny, it's a pretty special thing. He coached me for 2 years. Learned a lot from him. He's a great person, great competitor. Really happy for both of them.
Is there anything that you've done as a head coach that maybe Coach K did where you were like, as a player, I would never do that? And now you find yourself doing it a lot?
Of course, all the time.
Like what?
Well, it's, certain drills you may do where it's,
like shell drill.
Yeah, it's like, all right, when I'm a coach, when I'm the head coach, we're not going to do shell drills or, certain things like that. And you do them because you're doing them for a reason. But I think it's more when you're around somebody for such a long time. I've been around Coach K, in my life, 14 out of the last 17 years of my adult life.
Yep.
So naturally, the sayings, the things you say to your players, to the staff, your mannerisms, and so I know these guys. I know my staff on the side. I'll say, who does he think he is, Coach K, or some of the comments that I make. But I take that as a compliment.
When you look back you were playing in the Canary Islands like you talked about, and I remember before the season ended, you left and came to Duke to be Coach K's special assistant. Was that your first position?
Yep.
How hard was that for you to say, you know what, pro basketball, ACB is the second best league in the world.
Right.
You're playing there in Spain. How hard was it for you to say, you know what, I'm giving this up because I see what this could maybe be down the line for me?
Well, my post-playing career has been full of surprises.
Yeah.
I don't know. You try to map out your professional career for how it's going to go, and I don't know, for you guys a few years ago, would you say you guys would be doing this the way that you are?
And I'd be podcasting with this moron?
Yeah, no, that's
would not have said that.
No, but certain opportunities come up. Some not as good.
Some really
other
shitty.
opportunities come up that just you kind of have to take it and run with it. And for me, coming back to be a Duke at that stage, to be 25, I felt like was an amazing thing. And then I was fortunate a year later, Wojo took the Marquette job. Coach K felt and could see that I was ready, bumped me up. So all of a sudden I'm 26 and I'm an assistant coach. And so that decision really gave me the opportunity to be here today, as a head coach.
John, have you ever told the story of your eye injury on camera? Have you ever talked about it, exactly what happened? Because I don't think a lot of people know the background of, again, you still had a shot of making the NBA potentially, and you go this different path, and psychologically what it did to you.
Well, I think, again, it's another example of how quickly you have to pivot, or how quickly things change. I mean, I was in Miami in their summer league camp when LeBron James went on camera and said, "I'm taking my talents to South Beach." I remember me and Shavlik Randolph were having dinner. He was on the team, and LeBron, announced it. At some point, I don't know if it was afterwards or before, Chris Bosh said he's going to Miami. So I'm thinking, man, I'm going to be teammates with LeBron. This is amazing.
Seriously.
And the first game of summer league, I hit the game-winning shot. The second game, I got poked in the eye and immediately lost all eyesight. It was kind of a crazy deal. To this day, I haven't regained that vision because it's an optic nerve injury. So I went from, in one moment, thinking that was my path. A month later, I'm going to training camp with the Clippers. Still, my depth perception was coming back. I get released, and then you end up on this journey for 3 years, which really, frankly, was incredible. Playing against him in Spain, played in Maccabi Tel Aviv for David Blatt, who's a great coach and played all over the world. And I played for the Rio Grande Valley Vipers, played for a guy, Chris Finch, and now Chris Finch is a head coach for the Timberwolves. And so those experiences really helped balance me to really understand, obviously Coach K and what he's built at Duke, which I clearly have believed in, but then to get other perspectives to add to it was a big deal for me.
Let's talk about this Duke team that you have this season. You get Kyle Filipowski back, you get Tyrese Proctor back, you get Mark Mitchell back, you have this recruiting class coming in. What have you seen from them this summer? How good are they? Like, what should the expectation level be for Duke this season?
It's funny, Rob. For me, I hope, I know for myself I want to appreciate it, but for all of us just who love college basketball, the decisions that particularly Kyle and Tyrese made so quickly after the season, I think they should be commended for it. It's very mature decisions. I think as you see the NBA the last few years, obviously they always look for potential, but I think they also want proven players. And so they get a chance to prove themselves even more, to go in at a better place and stick in the NBA for a long time because they're capable of that. But also they want to do more in college. Like, that means something to them. And so our freshman class you mentioned, all four of them being committed to Duke. Jeremy Roach coming back as a senior. It's very rarely, how often do you see a guy that's 4 years now at a school?
Big news. The Almanac is officially back. The most exhaustive and comprehensive guide to the 2023-24 college basketball season is available for pre-order now. If you go to cbbalmanac.com, link is in the description below, you can pre-order for just $15.99 or 20% off the sticker price. The format is going to be a little bit different this season. Instead of an 850-page PDF, you'll be getting access to the full site with league-by-league PDFs available for download. The preview will be live on September 20th, so you have until then to be able to get your pre-orders in. So for insight for all 362 Division I teams from their head coaches and the experts that cover them, make sure you hit that link.
And so what Jeremy did, and then Mark Mitchell, of course, he could have gone pro as well. I don't know where he would have been drafted, but he would have been. And that we have 8 players returning. We didn't have any transfers go out. We didn't have any transfers come in. But I think we can be a very different team. Last year we had to base our team off of defense, rebounding. We had to muck it out inside. And this year we're probably more of a perimeter team where we can put 4 or 5 shooters on the court, space you, drive you. And then we have to make sure our defense is still as good as it was last year, which will be challenging to do without Derek Lively. He's a guy when you miss a guy like that behind you protecting your rim. But we'll still figure out how to get it done.
What was I just going to ask you? Something, Filipowski. When I was there, he still wasn't cleared yet to really do anything. Where is he now, and what's the latest on maybe him being cleared for contact, playing 5-on-5?
Yeah, well, his new nickname is Two Hip Flip. Two Hip Flip. All right, so he's got 2 working hips. He's as athletic as ever, actually more athletic. He can get in a defensive stance. And for him right now, he's doing contact. So 1-on-1, 2-on-2. He probably could play tomorrow if he had to, but there's a progression that our medical team has put in place. My goal for him, by the end of the month, he's able to do some 5-on-5. But we're in no rush. It's a long year. The main thing is he's healthy, strong, and in a really good position to have a big-time year.
So how much did that limit him last year? 'Cause he still had an incredible freshman year, but
it's really incredible. For me, I was amazed. We knew before the season he had this. It's something you can play through. Some other players we've had have had similar injuries, but the fact that he played, like you mentioned,
and played that well,
it's hard for him to run. It's hard for him to be in a stance for a long period of time, and he's putting up, big-time games. He's rebounding.
Sure.
He's playing through traffic. So I think we'll see some things we haven't seen from him before this year, and including on the defensive end. Like I just felt he wasn't able to move the same way that he's moving now.
Yep.
We talked to Tyler Hansbrough earlier. He's another one of the inductees into the College Basketball Hall of Fame this year. You obviously played against him in college, and I know you're not supposed to say nice things about Tar Heels, but where does he rank in terms of the best college basketball players that you've seen in your time since you've been at Duke?
Well, first of all, not just him, but their team was incredible. We went against in my time, some of the best Carolina teams that they had. Those, the 09 team that won the championship, really all 4 of my years. And so they had Wayne Ellington and Danny Green, and really the X factor I always felt like was Ty Lawson. Ty Lawson made that offense go, just with how fast he was. And he was on our Nike All-American team.
Another body, Ty Lawson.
All right, so
remember he had a sidekick?
Yeah.
That was the sickest thing. He could get on
Bubba
instant
was all
messenger.
excited by his sidekick.
Dude, he could get on IM or text or call. It was sweet.
That was the thing. That was me and Robbie were on the side. Ty was the guy that made our Nike All-American team go, and that North Carolina team. But Hansbrough, Tyler's just big-time competitor. What he did, scoring and rebounding. I don't know where he ranks. I'd have to go through each player, but he's up there. I mean, he's had a hell of a career. Happy for him. He's a big-time competitor, and now you got to make him say nice things about us after all these nice things.
Let's talk about the 09-10 Duke team. Then. We'll let you balance it out. What was special about that?
That was the first Final Four that I ever covered. Was the year that you won the national title. If you want to know how old I am now, so that's where I'm at in my life.
Well, you see, we could have talked about that.
Yeah.
That was.
Well, listen, we appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah.
Go enjoy
Thank you.
enjoy the night. You got plenty of Duke people here to probably schmooze with. So
Absolutely.
good seeing you,
Absolutely.
and we'll talk soon.